here the Garmin Oregon 550T. Got this GPS unit around the end of May, and I used it all summer and I love it. Of all the GPS units I've used, this is by far and away the best. And I've always been a big Garmin fan anyway. I've used other GPS, but I really like the Garmin. I got this, my wife and I went for our anniversary last March to Sedona, and I used the GPS on my iPhone, which was very lacking. It was a great GPS. The problem was I didn't have good cell phone coverage everywhere. If any of you have ever been to Sedona, there are certain hot spots where you will get no cell phone coverage at all. So I realized that I needed a good GPS unit. I used to have one. I sold it, but I needed a new one. And then when we found out we were going to be going to Europe for the summer, I definitely need to get one. So decided to go with this Garmin, the Oregon 550T. A little bit expensive. The MSRP is around $600. You could find it a little bit cheaper if you shop around, but that is the suggested retail price. A little bit expensive, but it had some features on there that I really like. I wanted, so I went ahead and went with it. This here is the actual unit. Comes with this carabiner clip. In the back has the rubberized grip, which is really nice. Kind of sticks your hand a little bit, gives good grip. This thing here is extremely tough. If you look at it, it's been knocked about quite a bit. It's been thrown in backpacks, it's been thrown in pockets, it's been through everything, it's been bounced around. This thing is tough. There's scratches and gouges all around here just from 3 months of use. And believe me, it's had some hard use. I did put a little protector on the screen. I do want to protect the screen, so if you look, there's some nicks and stuff like that, but it's just a plastic. If I took that off, the screen would be immaculate. But very tough unit. Some of the stuff I used, got the City Navigator NT, this one of Europe. This is for cruising around on the roads and stuff like that. Here's the manual that comes with it. Also got this Topo Map here of Germany. Came in quite handy. This thing here has been to some pretty cool places over in Europe. It's been in the Black Forest. It's been some of the woods surrounding a lot of the castles. It's been to Belgium, Brussels. It's been to France, Czech Republic, Poland. It's been quite a few places, and I've used it in all of them. I'd say the only negative I could say about it, and it's not really I don't know if it's so much an issue with this GPS, but maybe just GPS in general. It definitely worked better in areas where there were not tall buildings. So if you're out in the rural areas, it worked perfect. If you were in a smaller town, it worked perfect. But if you've ever been to Europe, the streets are very narrow and a lot of the buildings are very high. So when you're walking down the sidewalk, like for example, when we were in Munich, even though the building, if it was a building here in America, it wouldn't be that big a deal because there's big spaces between buildings. Even in New York City, the streets are wide, but in Europe it's very narrow. So I'm kind of thinking that the GPS couldn't quite pick up satellites because of the tall buildings. So the issue I had was that sometimes it would take a while to acquire the satellites. Generally within 5 minutes, but there were a couple occasions where it took a good 10 minutes to acquire the satellites. The good thing is though, once it had the satellites, it kept them, it locked onto them, so I didn't have any more issues. It was more of a startup issue. And and this could have easily been alleviated if I would have turned on the device sooner, but a lot of times I didn't turn on the device until right at the point where I needed it, needed to find out where I am, so then I had to sit around and wait for it. But it would have easily been, like I said, alleviated if I would have turned it on earlier. So I'm going to go over some of the stats before I give you a close-up of the device. In the box, comes of course with the GPS, comes with a battery charger, comes with two AA NIM batteries, the carabiner clip here, a USB cable, and the manuals. Specs, the screen here is a 3-inch touch screen, which I really like the touch screen. As someone who uses iPhones and iPads, it's really nice having a touch screen. That's one of my favorite things about this. Display size is actually, it's listed as 3-inch diagonal, but it's 1.53 inches wide and 2.55 high. The resolution is 240 by 400 pixels, weighs 6.8 ounces. Battery life says 16 hours. I would definitely not say 16 hours. The battery, that was another thing. It does have a tendency to go through the battery fairly quickly. I mean, you get a good day out of it, but you definitely, if you're using it all day, by the time you get back to your hotel room or wherever you were staying, your house, you'll definitely need to charge it after a day's use. You would probably wake up if you didn't charge it that evening, you would wake up the next morning and have a little bit of a charge, but definitely not enough for a day. It does come loaded with a map. Let me look here, a US Topo Map. So you will, and I'll show you in a little bit, so you will have a topographic map. Even if you don't buy any others, here in America you will have a map. It does have a camera, 3.2 megapixel. That's something else I really like about this. This was actually one of the features I wanted in it. It's only 3.2 megapixel, which is not great. It's about equivalent to a cell phone. But I like that you can geotag it. So like if I, for example, when we're in the Czech Republic, I took a picture of the hotel, and that's really all I need. It kind of serves as a waypoint because I can click on go to the picture viewer in the GPS, click on the picture, and then it would show me where it was taken and allow me to go to that point. So that was really cool. So it does allow for photo navigation. One of the other features, you can share wirelessly. So if you have a friend that also has a compatible Oregon, Colorado, or Dakota GPS, you can wirelessly sync your caches, your routes, tracks, waypoints, all that stuff. So if you got if you doing a hike in a local, some woods or something, you got a buddy who wants to go, you can sync it wirelessly and he can go on the same hike you did, find the same waypoints, all that. Hunting locations, you want to let a buddy know where a hunting location is. If you got it marked as a waypoint, just wirelessly sync it, good to go. It also supports opencaching.com, the GPX file, so you can go to opencache.com, download geocaches, sync it, very conveniently. I did so when I was in Germany. I synced some local geocaches, and I'll show you in a minute. It's a very quick process. It has a very fast transfer, the USB transfer, when you're putting maps on there, very fast. And you can, a couple different ways if you want to get some specialized maps for this that you can do it, is you can buy them, the CDs like I did, and you pop it open. There's a little place here for a mini SD card. Stick it in there. Lock it in. That's one way you can do it. The other way is that you can download them off of the Garmin website and sync them with the USB, doing a net map. I have not done it that way, but I have heard that it is really fast to do so. So here we are. Here's a close-up. As you see, my don't have real good reception. I'm actually down in my basement. Just a map. You can scroll with your finger. Zoom in and out. And I'm purposely trying to not get a signal here because I don't necessarily want y'all to know where I live. I got the where to feature here, where you can go to recent finds, places you've been recently, waypoints, photos. And this is what I was talking about. This is really neat. So you go to here, your list of photos. It comes preloaded with Garmin USA photos, so you can go to Garmin if you want. Garmin Europe. See if I can find the one, this one here. This is a hotel in the Czech Republic we went to. So click on that, it marks it, click go, and it's going to tell you how to get there. So that's pretty cool. Got the compass. For marking a waypoint, save and edit. You can save, rename, trip computer. And to slide, you can either press the arrow or use your finger. Oops, to slide. There is the camera. Then to find stuff, you click on that. There's that hotel in the Czech Republic. So you can pull this up and click on the Earth, and there it is. Photo viewer, 3D view. This isn't going to show you much. Like I said, there's no coverage down here. But if it's kind of like one of those features if you're driving, or I mean, you can use it walking, obviously. But you've seen it on the on the driving GPSs where you have buildings, stuff like that, hills, all that. Here's geocaches. Here's the ones. Find a geocache. The ones I had downloaded were actually in Germany. So as you can see here, this one here, the Kinder cache, it is 6,881.72 kilometers away. And there it is. Elevation plot, which I have not used. Where I go, which I have not used either, which is, it's in case you haven't heard of it, it's a virtual game where it tells you you're looking for virtual objects, kind of basically a treasure hunt, a virtual treasure hunt. I haven't used it, so I don't know a whole lot about it. Waypoint manager, profile manager, route planner, active route, track manager. This is kind of cool. Basically any there's a whole list of different stuff I've tracked. Pretty much anything you ever tracked is kept in this archive. So I can go back here to July 31st, view the map. Let me zoom way out here. So somewhere over here in Europe. That's pretty cool. I like the fact that it saves all of your tracks. There's the share wirelessly button. I have not used it. I don't have any friends that have this. It has a calendar, sun and moon, tells you when the sunrise, sunset, all that. Hunt and fish. Today's an average day. Tells you the best times during the day to hunt. Alarm clock, calendar. Here's the calculator. $600 calculator. Stopwatch, man overboard, waypoint averaging, sight and go. So it really has a lot of nice features. All in all, I love this GPS unit. Very, very nice unit. Like I said, I carried it everywhere I went for the last 3-4 months and become a huge fan. Definitely check it out. It is the Oregon 550T from Garmin.